Back to Muslim Apologetics Australia. We'll be going through an Islamaphobe called Pamela Geller, and as you know, every time a terror attack happens, it's really easy. If it's a Muslim, it's definitely on Pamela Geller's page, and she basically uploads every terrorist attack that happens. I'll put a link below this video and you'll see I also opened up a personal Facebook page where we upload every terror attack a non-Muslim has committed, and I'll put the link below this video, and please join that Facebook group and we keep you informed. It's interesting because in the latest attack in Florida where 9 people were shot, I think 5 have been confirmed dead. He was a non-Muslim, basically. Well, that's basically what we know from his name. We don't know the full story yet. But it's interesting because Pamela Geller was salivating that this person is a Muslim. And this is how propagandists work. She's a propagandist machine. Without going through the facts of what his real motivation was and who was actually behind this attack, she just publishes it on her Facebook page without having all of the facts, and they then start attacking Islam as if it has anything to do with Islam or Muslims. Here's an article that Pamela Geller has uploaded. It says, Fort Lauderdale gunman claimed he was forced to fight for ISIS. So do you notice the deception? She says he was forced to fight for ISIS. You can see Miss Geller's website. It says law enforcement sources told CBS News that in November 2016, he walked into an FBI office in Anchorage, AK, claiming he was being forced to fight for ISIS. Now, one thing doesn't add up about this story. If this man is walking into an FBI building and saying he was forced to fight for ISIS, why wasn't this man under interrogation? Why was he let loose into the public if he was making such a claim in 2016? This is a year ago. He was forced to fight for ISIS. Now, if we go to the Jerusalem Post, we'll click on it, we'll go to mainstream media, it doesn't say anything about he was forced to fight for ISIS. Rather, what it says, Florida shooter says the government was controlling my mind, forcing me to watch ISIS videos. Now, that's very, very different from the apparent CBS source that says that he was forced to fight for ISIS, or he was forced to join ISIS, when the actual claim is from the word of the actual shooter that the government was controlling his mind, forcing him to watch ISIS videos. We now go to another mainstream media network, The Sun, and it says, terror at the terminal. It says, Fort Lauderdale airport shooter suspect had walked into FBI office claiming he was being forced to fight for ISIS. So it doesn't add up. On one hand, we are told that he is being forced to fight for ISIS, and on another hand, we are told that the people who are forcing him to do this is the actual government themselves. Yes, that is the American government, the intelligence agency. So, has the intelligence agency got something to do with this? I remember Tayyip Erdogan recently said he has evidence to suggest that ISIS was actually funded by the American government. And now we have a shooter who is now claiming that the government, the American government, was actually forcing him to fight for ISIS and forcing him to watch ISIS propaganda videos. So it's not adding up, folks. If this man was a true recruit for ISIS, why is he actually blaming the US government for partaking in helping him join ISIS by making him watch these propaganda ISIS videos? Here we have another one, Fox News. It says, shooting suspect made confused visits to the FBI, said US intelligence forced him to watch ISIS videos. So it wasn't ISIS propagandists in Iraq or Syria forcing this man to watch these propaganda videos. No, it was the US intelligence themselves forcing this man to watch ISIS videos to recruit him for ISIS. So, you know, it's interesting when we go back to Miss Pamela Geller's Facebook, her article page regarding this issue, all she puts in bold was he was being forced to fight for ISIS, but she doesn't mention on her website anything about the intelligence agency forcing him to actually watch those videos. Notice again, in bold, in the third paragraph, she says he was being forced to fight for ISIS. Notice she does not mention anything about this man being forced by the intelligence agencies themselves. Now, this really looks bad for Pamela Geller. Here is Miss Pamela Geller, them writing, Fort Lauderdale gunman is making the ISIS gesture, meaning pointing the finger. Fort Lauderdale gunman is wearing the kafir, the war scarf of Islam. So notice she's portraying that this man is become radicalized and he's become Muslim, but she's concealing from her viewers that the man that she accuses of being a Muslim and a jihadi, she conceals the fact that he was actually inspired by the US intelligence agencies. I mean, I've gone through her Facebook page and she's got, I think, 3 uploads of the same topic, but she does not mention anything about him being inspired by the US intelligence agency. Here it is. We can go down her page. I'll show you every single post that she posted. She posted one post about praying for the victims of Florida, and in that article nowhere does it mention anything about the point that this man was forced by the intelligence agencies. Yet, look, she's posted about 3 or 4 articles about it, and nowhere in every single one of those articles does it mention such a claim. Yet the mainstream media is now telling us that he was inspired by the intelligence agency, the US intelligence agency, who was forcing him to watch such ISIS propaganda videos. So why is Pamela Geller letting that information out from her Facebook page? Maybe because she's part of the US intelligence agency. Maybe that could be a possibility why she's a little bit under fire and embarrassed in doing so. Because if you go to every single mainstream media, they are now saying that this man was inspired by the intelligence agency, including the Jerusalem Post. So there is only one thing. This lady is a propaganda machine and she doesn't want any fault. She just wants to blame Islam and the Muslims. But the truth of the matter is that the shit has already hit the fan, but she's too embarrassed to upload it on her Facebook page.